One thing I do understand about things that are spiritual, they don't go according to structure, like what man thinks you're supposed to do, how man is supposed to do it. You got to do it this way, you got to measure it, you got to time it, you got to set it up this way and that way, you got to basically interrupt the flow of spirit. That's not the way spiritual things work. I'm thinking about how a long time ago I had this desire to learn quilting. Like for the longest while. And I remember I went inside like sewing like a fabric store, and to find out about their quilting classes. So they told me that I'll need to know the basic of sewing. Like I have to know how to use a sewing machine. Now, when I was a kid, my mother taught me how to sew by hand. And when she was ready to show me how to sew using the machine, I was just too busy. My friends were waiting and I had to go. At least that's how I felt. But I regret not, paying attention and being available. I regret missing out on those sewing classes, because here I am now, almost 60 years old, trying to learn how to sew. I always felt like this is something that I should be doing by hand, quilting. So I walked away. Then I went to a quilting guild. I think it was with Brown Sugar Stitchers or something like that. I forgot what their name is. But it's got brown sugar in it. So it's African American quilters who, their work is amazing. If you see the colors that they use, and the designs and all of the patterns is so beautiful. And so I went up to one of the quilters and asked them, hey, how do I learn how to do this? And they said, you need to learn how to sew. But I always wanted to quilt by hand. I don't know where that desire came from, but I just felt like, this is not what I want. As a young girl, I felt this strong desire. So here it is now. How many years later, I get some kind of, got an understanding that there's a bunch of quilters, the Petaways, I believe they're in Mississippi, the original hand quilters during the civil rights movement, that are still quilting by hand. And guess what, y'all? I'm going to learn how to quilt by hand, because when they quilt, it is spirit-led. There is nobody telling them you got to cut it this way, you got to, measure it this way, you got to do it that way. They are led by the Spirit. This has happened to us with our music. This has happened to us with every art form, everything we do that is spirit-led. We have removed the spirit from it. If you listen to the music, the old music that used to really move us, they were led by spirit. Even the singer, they made all kind of sounds, made all kind of faces. They didn't think about what anybody thought, because they knew it was coming from a high place. It was coming from somewhere deep within them that was spiritual. And it moved people. And that's why we still listen to those artists, because we can hear something that is very rare nowadays. It's like, oh, wow. And even those who played instruments, they were led by the Spirit. That we had bands that played all kind of instruments, and those instruments was ushering the Spirit in. And somebody realized that and said, no, we got to do something about that. So they came up with all these electronic devices and all these different things that make sound instead of us creating sound or letting spirit lead us to these sounds and using the instruments that invoke the spirit. Same thing with our art. Oh, now we got to be measuring it precise. No, that's not spirit led. And that's why people can admire even abstract art, because you can look in it and see where spirit took over. Even in writing, when writers, this is real, like people that are really respect the art of writing understand that there's a point in your writing where spirit takes over. It's no longer you. That's why writers are misunderstood, because it's like, why are they so, they're not quirky. You can call it, if you want to give it a label, but they are spirit led. Any art form, any true art form, people always be trying to analyze the spiritual things. And that takes the spirit away from it at that moment. But spirit is ever present, waiting to be invoked and invited in everything we do. In everything we do. So that's why I'm so glad that I stayed focused on, you know what, I want to learn how to quilt with my hand, where I'm guided. The colors that I choose, I'm guided. The patterns that I choose, I'm guided. Every stitch I make, I'm guided. That's what I want to produce. And everything I do, I want to be guided. I don't want it to be about me. I want it to be about spirit led me. Spirit invoked me. Spirit used me. Spirit went through me, because I made myself available. And this is what I'm doing with my channel. It's not about I'm trying to get money from anybody. I just said, let's go out here and let's see. Because once you're doing stuff that is of your gift, it makes room for you. You know, the money will come. And, you know, I really want that to happen, because I want to spend all my waking days using my gift. So just think about that. Let's bring back those instruments, those bands, the artists, the one who the readers, the narrators, the storytellers, the gurus, the shamans, the every art form you could think of. Let them present themselves in the most authentic way, being led by spirit.